Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, we're going to take a look at the first pickup capsule for the month of February. And in this pickup capsule, we do have 3 days to clear out this pickup capsule, and just like every single month, that if you're able to clear the entire pickup capsule, meaning that get all 15 of these Tsums in the capsule, then you're going to get the last prize, which is the skill ticket. And in our case, that's really what you are after. For this month in particular, none of the pickup capsule Tsums are any good, or at least they're not super exciting. There are none that you really need to have for essentially your gameplay. But if you do have 450,000 coins saved up and you're able to clear out the capsule and you want those skill tickets, then definitely try to get it. But if you're after a really good Tsum, none of these are really that great. But regardless, let's take a look at the 6 that we have. So in this pickup capsule, we do have 2 copies of Happy Mike, 2 copies of Lilo, 2 copies of Spring Miss Bunny, 3 copies of Romance Ariel, 3 copies of Clarice, and 3 copies of Jessie. And out of these 6, there's 4 limited Tsums, so meaning that you can't get them in the premium box, so you have to get them now if you want them. So there are 2 good Tsums in here. There is one that is pretty useful for gameplay. So number 1 would be Spring Miss Bunny, because her ability makes big bubbles, and making big bubbles is pretty crucial in this gameplay, or just in the game in general. So if you don't have a bubble maker, then Spring Miss Bunny is a good option. And then number 2 would be Jessie. I think Jessie is the easiest to use out of all 6 of these. So out of these 6, I would recommend those 2. But again, if you don't have the coins, definitely save them up. There are 4 different limited Tsums, so if they catch your eye, then you want to get them soon because they will go away. They're not going to go away forever. They will eventually come back in a selection box or even in a future pickup capsule, but you might have to wait a little bit. But regardless, let's take a look at the 6 Tsums, and I will show you the demonstration of their abilities as well as how many coins I got per gameplay. So let's get into that. The first Tsum, we have Happy Mike from Monsters Inc., and his ability description is clear a horizontal line of Tsum Tsum. And this game demonstration for Happy Mike is a skill level 4 game demonstration, so his skill range is going to be large. And one cool thing about Happy Mike is that he's really easy to use. So the strategy is you want to make sure that center area has a lot of Tsum, because that burst will come from right to left and clear everything in the center area. So that's pretty much it for the strategy wise. You just want to make sure that there's a lot of Tsums there and then it gets clear. And then as far as Happy Mike, it's a really easy Tsum to use and it's really beginner friendly. So if you are relatively new to the game or just want a really simple Tsum to use, then Happy Mike is a good one. However, Happy Mike isn't necessarily that amazing. There are better Tsums out there that you could use to earn a lot of coins. So if you are looking for a coin earner, then Happy Mike is not going to be that amazing. If you are new to the game, then yes, Happy Mike will be good, but typically if you have other Tsums saved up, then not going to be that great. And let me show you why. I am going to skip to the end of this gameplay here and show you what I earned for coins. And at skill level 4 for Happy Mike, I ended up with 1,788. For a skill level 4 Tsum, it's okay, it's a little mediocre, it's not amazing, it's not poor either, but it's definitely not a Tsum that you would use to try to earn coins at skill level 4. So for that reason, I wouldn't recommend Happy Mike. Next, we have Lilo from Lilo and Stitch. And the ability description for Lilo is erases one type of Disney Tsum Tsum. I am currently playing Lilo at skill level 3, so I'm going to need a total of 18 Tsums to activate her ability. And one interesting thing about Lilo is that her ability actually maxes out at skill level 3. So sometimes this is good, but sometimes this is bad. It's bad because the skill essentially maxes out at skill level 3. It's not like it's performing at skill level 6, it just maxes out at skill level 3. It's good because sometimes you just really want a max out Tsum. So those are the reasons why it's good and bad. But in terms of performance, Lilo is not that great for coins, and for score it's a little mediocre as well. So what you would do is when you are using Lilo is right after the ability is activated, you will try to make really long chains, because after you clear one Tsum off the entire, or one type of Tsums off the entire screen, you should be left with either 4 or 3 types of Tsums on the screen, depending if you're playing with the 5-4 on or not. And if you are playing with the 5-4 on, then most likely you're only going to have 3 different types of Tsums on the screen, and it's right after the ability that's when you want to try to make really long chains. But maybe because I'm not a good chain maker, that's why I have a low score. So let me skip to the very end here. And at the end of this gameplay for Lilo at skill level 3, I only ended up with 923 coins and a very low score, so Lilo is not going to be that great for coins and not going to be great for score. Next, we have Spring Miss Bunny from the Bambi series, and Spring Miss Bunny is one of my favorite ones out of this whole entire collection. Her ability description is magic bubbles appear at random, and in order for you to activate her ability at skill level 4, you're going to need 16 copies of Spring Miss Bunny on the screen to activate her ability, and it's going to change a total of 3 Tsums into magic bubbles. And these magic bubbles have 2 characteristics. They're going to be giant bubbles, meaning they're going to burst a lot more Tsums than regular bubbles. And also, sometimes they're going to have abilities in them. So Spring Miss Bunny is going to be really good for those missions where you have to try to get certain bubbles to show up on the screen. Because there are some times where you have to make like 6 or 7 time bubbles in one play. So if you don't have a really good bubble maker, then definitely try to get Spring Miss Bunny this time around. Spring Miss Bunny is not going to be great for coins though, but you're really going to be getting Spring Miss Bunny for the ability purposes. And at skill level 4, I was able to get 1,292 coins. So it's not terrible for a bubble maker, but if you are looking for a Tsum that makes a lot of coins, then definitely not Spring Miss Bunny. But again, definitely get her if you don't have a bubble maker. Next, we have Romance Ariel from The Little Mermaid, and the ability description for Romance Ariel is Prince Eric appears that can be connected to Ariel's, clearing nearby Tsum Tsum for big points. And I'm currently playing Romance Ariel at skill level 4, so it's going to change anywhere between 7 to 8 Tsums on the screen. And when you are using Romance Ariel, you're really going for those long chains and getting a lot of score. So Romance Ariel is not necessarily for coins, but it is for big points. So if you could get Romance Ariel to a high level, then she could be viable, but because I only have her at level 4, she's not necessarily that effective. And at skill level 4, I ended up with 1,278 coins, and if you look at the score, it's not that impressive. But a lot of that has to do with because I have her at a low level. So maybe if you have her at a higher level, you're definitely going to get a lot more points than I did here. Next, we have Clarice from Chippendale. And the ability description for Clarice is turns an entire row into Chippendale Tsum Tsum. They can be cleared with Clarice. And the cool thing about Clarice is that she's a really good Tsum for making a really long chain, but really that's about it. If you are a good player that could connect really long chains very quickly, then Clarice could be a viable Tsum to earn a decent amount of coins. And the strategy to using Clarice is once you activate the ability, you want to focus on just clearing a really long chain. And there's a couple of things that you can do as well to speed up the gameplay, is make sure you have one bubble ready, and right after you make that really long chain after an animation, pop that bubble to speed up the drop time. Another thing that you want to do when you are using Clarice is make sure before you activate her ability that the center area has a lot of Tsums, and in this game demonstration you didn't see a lot of that, so in this gameplay it's not necessarily optimized for coin earning. But that's one thing you want to do. You want to make sure that center area has a lot of Tsums because that's the area that's going to turn a bunch of Tsums into both Chip and Dale so you can connect them with Clarice. So at the end of this gameplay, I only ended up with 1,276 coins at skill level 6. So for a skill level 6 Tsum, that is a really terrible coin count. So definitely not going to be great for coins. And for a score, it's not that amazing either, but that's probably because Clarice is not at that high of a level. Alright, we're on to our last Tsum for this pickup capsule, and for the 6th Tsum we have Jessie from Toy Story. And out of the 6, I like Jessie the most because she's the easiest to use and earns the most coins out of these 6. Her ability description is clear Tsum Tsum in the center, tap and hold to clear more Tsum Tsum. And in this game demonstration, you are looking at skill level 6, so her skill range is going to be extra large. And a key thing with using Jessie is stated in the ability description. Make sure you are tap and hold. So what that means is when you activate Jessie's ability, a lasso or the little rope is going to come out. And what you want to do is you want to press onto the screen and hold on to it. You don't even need to let go. What happens is once Jessie's lasso reaches max size, it's going to pop automatically. So you don't need to let go at a specific size or anything like that. All you need to do is tap and hold. And one of the strategies to using Jessie, and actually there is a couple, is you want to activate the ability as soon as possible. The reason being is that during the animation, Tsums will continue to fall, and because Jessie's lasso takes a little bit of time to expand it's going to clear a bunch of Tsums that in the center or fall into the center anyway, so you don't necessarily need to wait for it to fall to the middle. And then another thing that you want to do is just make sure you are clearing Jessie's as much as possible. The reason being for that is Jessie has a relatively low charge up time, so you could actually chain a bunch of Jessie abilities back to back to back. So try to do that to maximize your coin earnings. And at the end of this gameplay, Jessie at skill level 6, I ended up with 2,669 coins, so pretty impressive for a skill level 6 Tsum in this pickup capsule. Not amazing for a skill level 6 Tsum overall, but pretty good for this pickup capsule. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope that you guys found this video helpful. And if you guys would like to see more Tsum Tsum content just like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching.